How did I take my booktube channel from 0,000 to 20,000 and reach new audiences with videos like Reader DNF? I've definitely learned some tips and tricks over the years, but it definitely didn't happen overnight. I'm in my 5th year on booktube, so I've definitely had a process and I've learned and grown as I went, but I was hoping to take my knowledge and give it to some of you, whether you are just starting a booktube channel, whether you are trying just to grow and you are just like stuck a little bit and you need some more advice, or whether you're just interested in learning some new things. I'm hoping this video will have content for you. I will do some like basic things like lighting and equipment, but really I think one of the most important things is to realize the difference between selfish content and unselfish content. I really think when I started thinking about my videos like this, I really started to like see more growth and more happiness in the content I was putting out. These aren't negatives. Like I know selfish sounds negative, but it's not. It's just a type of content. I personally aim for over half of my videos to be unselfish, probably close to 75%, and then 25% of it to be selfish content. There is a time and place for both styles. So what are they? Selfish content is made for yourself. It focuses on your life, not necessarily the audience and what the audience needs out of a video. Where unselfish content, there's a lot of thought put into what the audience needs, like who will watch it and why would they watch it. So for example, on booktube, selfish content is more like weekly reading vlogs. You're just kind of watching someone's life, you're just kind of vibing with them. We like selfish content. This is what I mean. It's not a negative. I love watching weekly reading vlogs from people too. Selfish content tends to be for your loyal viewers. It tends to be for people who are just coming back and they will watch whatever you put out. They just want to get to know you. It's good to have this. And if you're doing booktube as more of a hobby, you might really just like want 80% selfish content. But if you want to grow, you do need to have unselfish content, in my opinion. An example of unselfish content on booktube would be like reading an entire Goodreads category so you don't have to. Can you see what I mean? There's like thought process behind that, because as a viewer, you're gonna go and you're gonna watch that so that you know which ones to read and which ones to avoid. Like there's a whole reason why you would watch it. It's not just like watching a vibe. Those videos are where you're gonna see new followers most of the time. Those are the videos that someone new is going to stumble across your channel and be like, oh, that looks good, I'm gonna watch it, because there's like a reason for them to watch it. Like if I am confused by what I should read in the Goodreads Choice Awards, I will click on that video and watch it. Or for example, like Book of the Month or Aardvark boxes, when people read their picks from there, I'm gonna watch those to see what I should pick personally. So like there is a reason behind your video that like a random person who's never seen you before is going to want to click on that for that reason. Learning the difference, I think, will really help you if you are looking to grow. Because in order to grow, you have to reach new audiences. You have to be having the people that have never met you before click on your video. And I think like understanding that is really helpful on booktube and just content creating in general. Really, you want to convert those people into people who watch your selfish content. You cannot get rid of selfish content. You need that. You want content for the people who are just here to vibe. You do want that, but you do need to bring new audience members in. I'm someone who watches a lot more unselfish content, so that's why you see a lot more of that on my channel, because one thing I will say is I am very true to myself and I create what I like to watch on YouTube, and I think that's a very helpful thing to remember. Never create something you don't like to watch. And if you like to watch something, there's probably other people who also like to watch something. But I personally love unselfish content, so I make a lot of it, versus I don't watch a lot of weekly reading vlogs, so I only do some of that, and there tends to be a little spin on them. But I know there's people who just love to have a booktuber that they watch consistently, and they'll watch anything and everything, and they prefer the selfish content because it's just a vibe. So like neither is bad, and you will have to figure out your own ratio of how much of each one you want. It's a balancing act, but you do need both. And so understanding the difference, I think, is really helpful as well. Because then when I'm coming up with videos, I can think about these things. For example, my moving vlog recently was selfish content, and it's still doing really well. Like people still really like to watch like moving content, so they're interested in it, and people are nosy. I think that's important to think about with selfish content, is people are nosy. So if you're doing something new, they're probably gonna want to watch it. New are controversial, but when it comes to making my videos, I'm really thinking about like why someone would watch this, who's going to watch it, what value they will get out of this video. And I think learning what people like has also helped that. So I said people are nosy. People like to watch things that they care about. And remember, I'm talking about like the random people, not the people who already know who you are, because those people are gonna watch watch whatever you put out, but they like to watch things they care about. If you are not a horror reader, why are you going to click on a random video about horror? You see what I'm saying? But trends and nostalgia are very helpful for that because people tend to care about those things. So for example, I did the Barbie vlog at some point and Barbie was trending and it's also nostalgia, so it hit two of those things. I like to hit some of these things, right? People also like to feel motivated. Really, people like to feel emotions. That's like the main thing I'm going to tell you, but people like to feel motivated. So challenge videos, we see that blow up on booktube all of the time. If you can have someone feel somewhat motivated in some way, that'll help. Maybe me watching you wake up at 6 a.m. every single day to read will have me wake up 10 minutes earlier so I get a little bit of reading in. Like, you motivated me to do something. People like to relate, so that's why we see, I think, the like TBR challenges do well, like dwindling down my TBR, because we all relate as readers. We all relate to always having too many books to read in too little time, so those are really good. Also, it's motivating to dwindle down a physical TBR, and people like to feel included, so I think doing things like that hit that as well, especially if it's like a series. If I can feel included in your journey of dwindling down your TBR, I'm more likely to watch. Like, if I know you're gonna have an episode come out every single month and I get to watch that process, I like that, so I'm going to watch those more consistently. So really, when it comes to YouTube, you have to focus on the emotion. Like, all the things I just said were emotions that people feel. They like to relate, they like to be motivated, they like to be included. I think trends and stuff do that. Like, you're really trying to hit people's emotions, and you see this really come to play in your titles and your thumbnails. On booktube, you cannot sleep on your titles and your thumbnails. We have basic titles and thumbnails because books matter. In the end of the day, I noticed that if I hold up a stack of books in my thumbnail, it does better than if I didn't, because I think it's really clear that that's what I'm doing. Like, I am reading books if I'm holding up books. Like, I'm a booktube channel. So we do have basic titles and thumbnails here, but I think it's important to remember what you just thought about. All those things that just went through your head when creating a video, like what emotions, why are someone watching? You now need to portray that in your titles and your thumbnails, and you will get better clicks. You will see more because people want emotion. So gasp in your pictures and make the title a question. Can I finish this series in 24 hours? Like, do you see how that brings all of the emotions together? Especially if I'm just like sitting here, got a book in my hand, and I look distraught because like the pressure is on. Like, that's the things you need to look for. That's the things you need to think about when you're making your titles. If it's something like creating your dream library, you're probably gonna be happy. So you need to smile, but then you also need to show your before and after, because that makes the emotion be like, wow, it looked like that, but now it can look like that. Like, there's emotion in that thumbnail. It's not just a picture of a wall and you being like, I created my dream library. Like, you made emotions with it. Of course, quality does matter. I actually think your title and your thumbnail are more important than people think. I think that you should put time into them. I think that coloring them properly does help, and adding more saturation. Something I learned really quickly was a lot of people watch YouTube on their phone, and so your thumbnail is really small, really small. So you want to make it pop. So you want to contrast it a little bit. You want to add some more color to it. I always bring up my saturation because you kind of lose that in that small image that's also processed through YouTube, and YouTube brings down the quality quite a bit. So making them pop a little bit more is always important. Your titles and your thumbnails shouldn't match. If you say one thing, if you use the words creating my dream library on your thumbnail, your title should be different. Your title should be like, can I build my home office? Can I build my home library? Like, just kind of switch it up just a little bit. YouTube is going to take SEO from both of those things, and also most of the time I'm going to look at your thumbnail and then look at your title, or look at your title and then look at your thumbnail. I don't need them to repeat. I'm smart enough to understand that they're the same thing if they like kind of match. You also could just not put, can I build my home library? I actually think when I did it recently, I just put before and after, and then my title said building my dream library, because you connect both of them together so you can understand that that's the before and after of my library from the title. And then you just have more ways for SEO to like pick you up and more ways to hook people. I think that's a really big mistake people make, of like making them the exact same, and you don't need to do that. Other tips, I guess, just for like quality, since we're kind of talking aesthetics. Me personally, when I film, I'm in a new setup, so I'm kind of learning my lighting a little bit. But before, in my other space that I was filming in, I filmed with 2 lights only. I didn't film with any natural light. Right now I have natural light, and I actually kind of have the same process going. I have the light that's on my face. So before I had a ring light behind my camera, or a window right now is behind my camera, and that's what's lighting me up. Do you see that this side's darker than this side? That's because I have a fill light on this side. So I have a light that is literally pointed at my bookshelves to make this appear lighter. I would love to have one over here. I just don't have one yet, but I did use one at my old place. My ring light is actually pointed at these, but I literally used a lamp at the old house. I just had an IKEA lamp that was pointed behind me. So like it doesn't hit me at all. It only hits the bookshelves, and this helped me make my lighting a little bit more even. If you are struggling with lighting your face too, white is your best friend. I don't know if you can see the difference between if I have that here or not. Like I literally glow just from a piece of white paper. So if you are struggling with lighting your face, if you feel like the shadows down here are too much, take a white piece of paper. You can get this literally from the dollar store. This is what my TBR game is on. And you put it underneath you, and the light will bounce onto the white and then hit you. So it's like a reflector. I obviously don't need this right now, but if you are in a darker space, that is a very helpful tip I find. And I won't lie to you, I do think quality of your stuff does matter to grow. I am very fortunate that I was a wedding photographer before this, and I film on a very expensive camera. However, if I could recommend something to you, film on your phone, film on your back camera, not your front camera, your back camera. If you're struggling with framing yourself, put a mirror behind you so that you can see that you're like in center. It doesn't have to be perfect, you just have to see that you're in center, or you can get things that like cast to a computer or an iPad or something so that you can see. But film on this. We all have phones, they're all good enough. Natural light is important when you film on these. Your lighting has to be good. If your lighting is good, most people won't even tell. And once you know that booktube is something that you want to do full time, once you know that content creating is something that you're really interested in, then you upgrade and wait to upgrade. I see a lot of people make this mistake in my opinion. I think your phone camera does brilliant things nowadays. It is a very good camera in here. If you're just gonna buy a little flip camera, it's gonna be the same quality as this, truly. Maybe a little bit better because your sound might be a little bit better, but wait till you can save up. If this is going to be something full-time, this will be good enough quality with some natural light, with some good lighting around you. This is good enough. And then if you do want to upgrade, don't just upgrade a little bit, make the full leap and get a cheaper DSLR, because that will be better for you. I told all my friends, I recommended, just from being a wedding photographer, a mirrorless camera if you film in darker spaces, because they will be better with lower light, but also still not necessary. And then I think all of us use a 35mm. That's what I film on. It's a prime lens, which means it doesn't zoom, and it will be better in lower light, and it will have a more blurry effect the lower your f-stop is. So I think they'll say like f1.8, f3. Personally, I film at f3.2. That's what I always film at with my 35mm, and that's what gets my background looking like this. But that's like equipment wise, that's like kind of what I would advise. I think the 35mm is really my biggest advice once you get a DSLR. I love my 35mm. I think it's perfect for vlogging. I think it's perfect for sit down videos. The camera is probably my wingspan. Like if I were to go like this, that's how far the camera is away from me, maybe a little bit shorter. So you don't need too much room. And then other equipment wise, I would actually say before you upgrade your camera, upgrade your microphone. I think your sound is really going to make your videos look better. Even though it sounds better, people just associate that with better quality looking videos. It's cheaper than upgrading your camera. It still might be a couple $100s. I use a Rode microphone. I can link it down below, but I know people just use those little tiny Rode ones a lot now. Personally, I hate the trend of holding them. They're meant to go on you, but I know it's a big trend and people like it. So there's that, but I would recommend before you upgrade your camera to upgrade your sound, and you will notice that people think your quality has gone up. You will probably think your quality has gone up, especially because this camera is good, but the microphone on this is not as good. If I could give you a piece of advice for upgrading equipment, sound first. Sound and lighting. Cameras last. Cameras way last. Don't even notice when someone films on their phone. Like I feel like you can tell I have good quality, but when someone else films on their phone, you're not gonna be like, wow, they film on their phone. Like you have no clue. So definitely you can stick with your phone, stick with what you have, stick with what you can until you realize that this is something you want to do, especially because YouTube is harder than people think. Even as a hobby, it can be really disheartening to not grow. But when you're in a place where like you feel like your content is ready and you just need to expand your quality, that's just like what I would say. try to expand, because I do know we all get there. There is a point where everyone is like, okay, I want better equipment. Well, maybe not everyone, but there's a lot of people who want that, and it is a question I get a lot, is like what camera I film on. So I just figured I'd talk equipment really quickly. I think the fill light and the microphone are very helpful. I'm just kind of chatting. I'm just chatting through all my thoughts right now. This is going to be a little bit rambly, but this is like what goes through my head constantly. Something I would also suggest for upping your game is your editing. I use a software called Recut. I do have an affiliate code, and if you use it, it is linked down below. I will get money. I think I get like $10, but you get some money off using the link. Do not feel like you have to use it. It's actually something that I use every day of my life. I reached out to the company and said, hi, can I have an affiliate code because I love your product? Recut changed my life. It made my editing so much quicker, and in order to level up my content, that was so helpful because now I can spend more time thinking about videos. I can spend more time reading because it takes me half the time to edit. So if there is one thing I can suggest you for editing, it is Recut. It's essentially the software that you put your video in and it cuts out all the silences for you. Before, I used to manually go and cut out all my silences. That took at least an hour. At least. And now that is literally done in less than a minute by Recut, and then I export that into my editing software. I know people ask what I use. I use Adobe Premiere Pro. It's expensive. It's what I learned on. It's what I used Adobe for like photography stuff, so I already had it. But I think a really good one is DaVinci. They do have a free version. It does have some glitches, but the paid version is a one-time fee. If you feel like you can afford it, I would recommend doing the paid version, but the free version does work until like you understand if you like it and stuff, and if you want to do this full time. But I would recommend DaVinci. At the beginning of your channel, I will say quantity over quality. At the point I'm at now in my channel, it's quality over quantity, but when you're starting out, the only way to improve is making videos. The only way to get more natural on camera, the only way to feel like you're not talking to like a bot, like not talking like customer service, the only way to feel like you're having a more conversational thing is practice. So make the videos. Who cares? Just quality over quantity. Try to be consistent. Try to get videos out. As you grow, as you get more comfortable, you are going to switch to quality over quantity. When I started out, I posted 3 videos a week, which is delusional, and no one needs that much quantity, but that is what I was doing. It was during COVID, so I was bored too. But that helped me really hone in on what I liked. I learned really quickly I didn't like one book review videos. I don't watch them. I don't like to make them. However, I loved watching TBR videos, and I loved creating TBR videos. I loved recommendation videos. I personally didn't really like tag videos that much. So posting an insane amount, focusing on quantity helped me learn a lot about my style. It also helped me learn about what I enjoyed on booktube as well. Versus now, I really hone in on very specific things and focus more on what videos I'm putting out because I know what I like. I know what performs well on my channel. That's the other thing. Quantity will help you understand this does well. And to be fair, on booktube, I can tell you right now, TBRs, especially if you have a TBR game, that's gonna do well. And hauls and unhauls, they always do well. But the other things, they take time. Like I know that I gamify my reading a lot, and that works really well on my channel. People like to watch random things pick my books. That works really well for me. Some people learned that like new release videos, like anticipated releases, like doing monthly release videos works really well for them. And you're gonna learn all of that in your quantity stage. While you're doing quantity over quality, I also think quantity on YouTube is helpful. Watch booktube. You will not grow on booktube if you are not a lover of booktube. You might not have time to watch a lot of stuff. I know we have families and stuff like that, like life gets in the way, but if you can, one of the most important things you can do to grow your channel is be a fan because you're gonna get inspiration from people. You're gonna see what's trending. For example, when I did Reader DNF, obviously it was trending. Becca did Shelve It or Scrap It, and that took off on booktube, and if I was not a watcher, I would have not known that, but obviously I knew that those things were taking off. But I also knew that other than that, I saw a lot of people doing like series sit down videos where people would go through like what series they were still reading, which ones they were gonna DNF that year. So I combined those two things. So watching booktube is going to to be so helpful for you. It's also going to help you understand what you like to watch. Maybe you love to watch wrap-ups, so you're gonna do wrap-ups on your channel. Maybe you hate watching wrap-ups, so you're probably not going to do wrap-ups on your channel. You're going to learn so much from watching other creators. I also often like to go to other creator pages and hit like popular and see what's working for them. And then I like to watch a lot of those. Also, booktube's a community, so what's gonna help you grow is participating in things, hanging out, commenting on things. I know I find a majority of the new channels that I watch from readathons that I've hosted, because most of the time I'm tagged in things. If it's for a Ramathon, if you make a vlog for Ramathon, I'm tagged in it. I watch a lot of them. And then if I fall in love with your content during that, I'm gonna keep watching it throughout the year. Or maybe I'll ask you to host my readathon next year because obviously you participated in it and you had fun, so you'd be a good host. And I know a lot of my friends do like the same thing. So one of the things I could tell you is participate, be part of the community, and you will see your channel grow. Comment on people's videos, you'll make friendships. Most of the time I will notice that if I am commenting on people's videos, they will end up commenting back because they're also watching my videos. Now this isn't a one-for-one. It should never be a follow for follow situation. You know, on Instagram when people like follow you and if you don't follow back, they unfollow. It should never be that. You shouldn't be commenting on people's videos expecting a comment back. That should never be the take. But you will make friends. You will grow a community more. You will get your name out there by just participating in the community and genuinely participating. Never ever, please, never ever go into someone's comment section and be like, I just filmed my TBR, ha ha ha. Never self-promote. That is a quick way to have people not look at your content, but just by authentically engaging and interacting, you will see some of that come back. So that's another really important advice piece. I'm really almost done, I think. Another one I have though is for actually filming and talking to the camera. As I said, practice makes perfect. You will get more natural as you practice, but something that drives me up a wall is repeating things. Let's say I'm filming a vlog. You do not need to end your vlog clip with, I'll check back in at 50%. And then you go in and you start your next clip and you go, okay, so I reached 50%, and then you talk. You repeated yourself. I am smart enough to know the continuity. If you said in clip 1, you will come back and talk to me at 50%, when you come talk to me at 50%, I know it's 50%. You do not need to have your first lines repeat each other. However, that's really hard to stop doing. So I have found, because I still do it, or I still like come in and I'm like, good morning, or something like that. And for continuity, you really want your video to feel more conversational. That's kind of what's trendy in social media right now, is talking and feeling like maybe we're on FaceTime. I'm not just a stranger talking to you through a camera. That feels kind of uncomfortable and weird. I want us to feel like we're friends and I'm just having a girls' night and talking to you. Like, that's much more natural. So like in a conversation, I'm never going to be like, I'm gonna go clean the kitchen and then come down and be like, I'm done cleaning the kitchen, you know? So get rid of that. But I personally just cut it out if I say it to the camera, because talking to a camera is weird. And sometimes I just need a starter sentence to get me going. And sometimes that's, I reach 50% and then I start talking. When it comes to editing, gone with the wind. That's the thing. If you say something, you can get rid of it in editing. Nice and easy. Get rid of it. I actually tend to get rid of the first sentence of every single clip I say, because my first sentence is probably less natural because it's me pausing and warming up to the camera. So I just get rid of it. I don't need to say good morning. I don't need to say I'm really tired today. I only slept 4 hours. I can just say I only slept 4 hours and you will know that I'm probably tired. We talk to cameras like we're dumb and we forget that the people behind us are real people and we just need to talk to them like we're having a conversation. But I still do it to this day. I just cut it out. So that's a tip. Cut out your first words that feel unnatural. Just cut them out. And then something really personal to myself is I don't like to say you guys. This is very personal and a lot of channels say you guys, but I personally like it more to feel like I'm talking to a specific person. Like we're having a conversation, not a group of us. So personally, when I watch content, I look for this too. And so I realized it really quickly. I don't like to like remind people that it's just not me and them. I like to just say, in case you didn't know, instead of in case you guys didn't know, because you just feels more personal to me and I want my videos to feel very, very personal. And I found that has helped me a lot. I'm really trying to think about like, it's me and my friend right there, or me and my boyfriend, or me and like my sister. Like there's someone in the place of the camera and I'm just talking to them. And I would never say you guys to that person, but obviously there's a group of you. Like obviously I'm talking to more than one of you. Sorry to break the fourth wall here, but I want it to feel like I'm talking directly to you. And I found that has made my channel feel a little bit more personal. I guess also something that I do notice in videos is long intros. I try to keep my intros very short and to the point. Again, I like to think as a viewer is smart. So like I don't need you to spend 5 minutes explaining the video concept to me. I just need you to get right to it. So I do try to make my intro short. You pretty much have 30 seconds to grip someone. In like YouTube statistics, you have 30 seconds or else they're gonna move on. And those first 30 seconds really matter. So I try to have my intro being 30 seconds, a minute long, and then get into the actual video. I don't want a 5-minute long intro. Sometimes it happens that they're longer, like play it by the video. But like if I am picking books using a spinner wheel, I don't need to like explain how the spinner wheel works. I can just be like, today's vlog, I can't choose what I want to read, so I'm making it random and using a spinner wheel. That's my intro. And then people will understand the point of the video. I didn't need to like ramble on about every single reason why. I can ramble on later, and I definitely do, but I like to keep that first 30 seconds very informative. Like this is what the video is, to really catch people, if that makes sense. And also if you state a problem in your intro, again, if we go back to what I said earlier with people wanting emotion, if you can trigger an emotion in that intro, that's also going to help you down the line. I think that's why like Becca Shelve It or Scrap It has done so well too. She's a really good example. She's an inspiration channel for me. Is she really pulls in our emotions, being like, I have this stack of books and I need to get it on my shelves, but my shelves are full. She set up an emotion with that problem because we all understand, wow, never ending TBR, like we get it, not having enough room on our shelves. And then we have the answer to the problem, which is the vlog that's coming. So that's like set that up really well. Really, booktube is questions and answers. And that's what you really should think of it as, questions, answers, and emotions. Hopefully you found something in this video helpful. If you have any more questions, please leave them down below. I will try to answer as many as possible. And maybe I could even do a follow-up video of this. This was very much me just rambling to a camera about my thought process. I actually have one that I made a really long time ago. I have no idea what's in it, but I will leave it on the screen for you to check out if you want more tips. I think this is like 4 years old, so sorry if it's really bad. I've definitely learned and grown. If you made it all the way to the end of this video and you'd like to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a present emoji, and have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day.